We are into the draft for the second game then. New one up, as you can see.
Same bands.
Same hands.
Unexpected.
Yeah.
Yes.
Surprised we haven't seen the Lena ban.
Well, Juggernaut is an important ban, I think.
Is that what they're thinking about now, Peter, you think?
Maybe.
I mean, they picked Lena last time.
Better Monkey King. Lena or Monkey King.
A Monkey King.
Yeah.
They banned Crystal Maiden last game, so
yeah,
they did actually.
Which is an odd ban.
maybe Monkey King or Lena is a better idea.
Reserve time.
I favor Monkey King. That Lena seems. I don't know. It seems like mid heroes in general are easier to counter, and I know that in the games that we've seen so far, it's not really been the case, or well, it has been the case anyway. We see mid laners not do too well, and I feel like if Lena doesn't get help, she'll still be pushing.
Okay,
that's true.
Newbee's
well,
turn to
It's okay. Silencer ban.
We're not going to the Lena ban.
Okay.
I mean, Silencer was good. FaZe played a good Silencer, but it wasn't like, whoa, Silencer. Do you feel like, obviously, the ultimate had an impact? Do you feel like that was the reason?
I think Silencer is one of those heroes when you're actually in the game, you feel the impact of his ultimate more so than you would a spectator.
Right.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel like it had a huge impact on the game.
Okay, so Newbee get a Magnus this time.
Lifestealer.
And the Lifestealer goes back to MP.
Dire team pick.
Take what we have, we'll take what you have.
Yeah, the 9-net combination is a big thing, and they take the Lena themselves. Okay.
We've always said as well, the first two pick Lenas are fine, because if the other team decide actually they do want to kind of focus her out, Peter, it doesn't matter so much. You can switch her around as well.
Yeah, and they played it last night as support and did very, very well.
10 seconds
And also,
remaining.
like, there's an I pick, they don't have to worry about SEC playing it. And it's a perfect
5
SEC
seconds
hero,
remaining.
just as it is like a Sumail hero. We talked about them being super similar.
Reserve time.
So, thinking about playing against the Lena, how do you beat a Lena? Talked a little bit about it during the previous draft.
Protect
the heroes.
Protect your mid lane. Figure out a way for your mid lane to do pretty well. Lena's a pretty lane dominating hero.
Yeah, so that means that you try to pick supports that can rotate and try to pick your core so that they don't need the support as much?
Those are two options. You can focus a lot of attention on mid lane. Lena's not the hardest hero to gank.
True. She's fairly speedy though.
Yeah, she's fast.
Dire team back.
Or you can just pick a hero that can lane there and not worry about it, or pick a hero that can move to jungle pretty quickly.
That's disappointing though. If you pick your hero already assuming that you're gonna lose mid, it's
They
like,
could
well,
do
at least I can catch up in the jungle,
Well,
guys.
I mean, from what I see,
10
is Terrorblade could
seconds
be very, very good. Not only can it leave mid lane, go to jungle very early,
5
also a
seconds
direct
remaining.
counter to Lifestealer. Works incredibly well with both Magnus and Dazzle.
Reserve
Had a
time.
Terrorblade ban, I think, in the second phase previous
did.
game, but it
Reserve
came from
time.
Newbee, right?
It did, yeah.
Newbee's turn to ban.
Have a new hero for.
And they didn't need to ban that necessarily, I suppose.
I
think hoped to take it, but then you think maybe Newbee would.
I feel like maybe NP doesn't play it. I don't think they picked it this tournament, so.
Dire team
Could be
back.
severely limiting as the tournament goes on.
We got 2 days.
2 days. We talking about they've
Today,
got to prepare.
tomorrow, and the next day. Practice your Monkey King.
I wonder what they'll
everyone.
be playing.
Yeah.
That's SVG right there. They're gonna be their new Monkey King player.
I think it would fit him though.
Yeah, for sure. He'll figure it out.
Style
10
of play that
seconds
would be fit.
remaining.
But for now,
5 seconds remaining.
I mean, Axe ban. Why Axe? I mean, Ramesses is
Reserve
good on it,
time.
but
You can chop through Shallow Grave. It's nice against Dazzle.
true. But
Decent Lifestealer bomb. Makes Lena stun relatively easy to hit. Plenty of burst already with Lena to follow up for Axe. Lanes well versus Magnus.
are you expecting to have Magnus on the?
I think most teams are running
Newbee's
Magnus
turn
as
to
an
ban.
offlaner.
Yeah, as an offlaner, but then going up against a solo laner of MP. Are you expecting MP to run a aggressive try?
That's the thing, is like Magnus doesn't lane particularly well against Lifestealer either. So if you have
10
two side
seconds
laners that lane
remaining.
both well versus Magnus,
Oh, they can't
Magnus
dodge you.
Yeah, Magnus will be in a
Alright.
losing
Dire
lane.
team pick.
His hero's already. Oh wait, he's mid, so I guess could
10 seconds
be playing
remaining.
Melina, but we haven't seen him play Lena. I think NP's played Lena only
5
once, and it was
seconds
1-4-3-7 he
remaining.
played it.
Do you
So,
feel like she's good from a 4 position as well?
Reserve time.
yeah, I think she's fine. Especially with the changes. I think Lina is just a good hero overall. I think it's a hero we're going to see in the first two for probably the rest of this tournament for a lot of
Yeah.
teams.
If not banned.
Yeah, if not, could potentially sneak in there as a first ban. Slark ban?
Melee cores, I guess.
Yep.
Removing them from U9. Ursa is still in the pool. It was a hero that you mentioned previous game. Would that fit in here?
Ursa could work. I think Terrorblade
Terrorblade still
really
in, yes.
good.
Newbee's
this round.
turn to pick.
Let's think what are other. They could still do like the PA or Vector or whatever they wanted.
Any spectacular PA play yet, have we?
We saw Empire play it
Oh, you're right,
10
actually. Yeah.
seconds
once.
that
That was
would
with
be
the
good.
Magnus and
Yeah.
Was
he-
it Chappie? I think
Mm.
so. Chappie plays like
5
I think
seconds
during the
remaining.
qualifiers of the Kiev Major, he was one of the few people that actually got a rampage, and it was on a PA.
Sure.
With a Magnus.
Reserve
Yeah, it probably
time.
was
He
in
was
them if he's the carry player.
Yeah. Alright, so we have an Earth Spirit coming out. That's a heavy rotating hero. That's something that can already counter potential harassment that will come Lina's way.
Yeah, they can put a lot of pressure on with Earth Spirit and Lina in the mid
Yeah.
lane, similar to what we saw last lane from Lina and Monkey King. And
So what are they lacking?
who?
NP. I feel like previous game they had, like the start of the game, they were doing okay. They weren't necessarily crushing their lanes, but they weren't really losing them. And then they just couldn't get any map control. They couldn't get any towers.
Sure. I think we could see NP go for the Beastmaster with their
Yeah.
fourth pick.
Dire
It's pretty
team
good
pick.
for Ursa. It gives them some nice vision, helps them scout out that Magnus, figure out where that RP might be coming
Yeah,
from
it is.
for it.
And it would also
Newbee's turn
like
to
fit
pick.
into the like they can actually take towers with Beastmaster.
Absolutely, and
Yeah.
you know that's the guy right there, best Beastmaster in the game. PPD proclaimed.
In the game or in the scene?
In
In
the
the game,
world.
there's only
In the
10.
world.
Is
There's
there
only
some- is there
10
some-
people. There's only 10 people in this game.
oh no, I'm saying
In the Dota 2
yeah,
game.
in,
In the
all,
Dota- okay,
in the
in the-
pro scene, unless
Okay.
there's some
remaining.
some sneaky specialist
Uh-oh.
out there who's not
Just
playing
like,
on a
there's
pro
there's a
team.
9K MMR Beastmaster
Yeah, he only
only.
plays Beastmaster.
Reserve time.
I mean, that could be, but yeah, he's a beast. And that was no pun intended.
Literally a master.
Yes.
No pun intended. Just came out naturally.
Just
I
naturally
mean,
punny, Peter.
I only heard it when I said it myself, and I was like, I wish I didn't.
Dire team ban.
Do you regret the pun or do you?
And
No,
Embrace it.
no, never regret the pun.
I'm
That's the
okay
rules of
with-
puns.
I'm okay with it if I don't intentionally pun it.
All right, fair enough.
But you are
Just,
naturally punny, though.
And I try not to be naturally punny.
Lyrical is out of control this
10
morning with the puns.
seconds
It was way
remaining.
too early.
Was
for
it? Was it too? Was it far too
Yeah.
early?
We were,
Was it
we were
flaming
playing
over
against-
the top of your
we
head?
were playing with
Remaining.
Faceless, and their
Yeah,
captain's name
yeah.
was Nuts.
Yeah.
Oh, it was.
Did you miss a
Reserve
few?
time.
No, I called him out on every single one. I think he was doing it intentionally by the end, though.
Just trying to wake you up. We asked him, can you just make sure you get Peter up in the mornings and just Jim, I'm getting him excited.
Yeah, wide awake.
Ember Spirit, fourth pick for Newbee.
Another Magnus Empower hero option.
Yeah.
Very much lacking on building damage, though, for a newbie. That's a big concern. So that's a lot of Ursa lineups kind of fall off, is they don't have the objective taking ability. They can do Roshan, but can they hit the buildings? Can they hit the towers? Can they go high ground? Right now, it doesn't look like that. Maybe with their last support, could see the Shadow Shaman or Jakiro
Newbee's
Jakiro?
turn
help,
to ban.
help them push some towers.
Actually,
Maybe.
Jakiro pairs up really nice with the Magnus, the synergy with
does.
the follow-up damage coming out.
Yeah.
Follow-up-
The best building hero, by the way, in the last month is Terrorblade.
Well,
In terms of most damage.
I would have been
10
down for
seconds
Terrorblade.
remaining.
Beastmaster's
Yeah.
really bad against Terrorblade. Lifestealer's really bad against
5
Terrorblade. Lena's
seconds
okay,
remaining.
but they have Dazzle to kind of help them out.
And last pick going
Reserve
to
time.
10.
This is a much better draft from MP, you'd feel, Peter, wouldn't you?
Whenever
More standard.
whenever I see them with Beastmaster, I'm a lot more confident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Magnus, he plays a good Magnus, but I feel like they really, because they kind of play like defensively, like we definitely saw that in the last game, they kind of play more reactionary, and when they don't have a vision hero to kind of figure out exactly what the other team is doing, they oftentimes are like missing out in numbers when these kind of small ganks happen in the mid. Also, like their momentum is just so much better when they're playing Master. Like every time Roar's off cooldown, they're like
10
setting up for a smoke
seconds
gank or a
remaining.
tower push, or they go to the enemy jungle and
They're
ward.
expecting
Newbee's
Lina's
Wards.
turn
support.
to pick.
Yeah, that was why the ban.
Yeah. So if we're gonna for a moment and
I don't
have
thi-
Lina as support, which mid laner would do well against
Shadow Fiend.
Yeah,
10
that's gotta be
seconds
a mid
remaining.
SF, isn't it?
OD.
5 seconds remaining.
Both are fine. Lina doesn't really seem like a envy hero. It's like
No,
almost
it
too
doesn't, does it?
flashy for him.
Ooh,
Dire team pick.
And there's Rubik.
Rubik. Deals.
There's some nice spells to steal.
Yes.
Oh, both Lina spells are nice. Everything
Yeah.
else is a little bit harder.
Earth Spirit is a bit crap because obviously you don't have the stones.
It's okay.
10
I mean,
seconds
the
remaining.
reduction in the AoE aura is nice. They can, do some. Rubik's a
5
pretty overall good
seconds
hero.
remaining.
You get a pretty early blink with the GPM talent. You get a blink initiate instantly. Favorable
Reserve
for D
time.
push. Don't love it. I feel like this is. I like the draft for NP. I feel like they've got a nice opportunity to win the game here.
10
Newbee
seconds
is going to have a
remaining.
really hard time going high ground. No really building damage to take objectives.
Wow, we don't get an SF.
That's
We don't
the
get an OD,
Weaver.
we get a Weaver instead.
Is it an Envy Weaver?
Yeah,
You
or
would think
Life
Envy
Stealer.
would go on the
Or Life Stealer.
Luna.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or-
No. 1437 will play Lina,
Okay.
and then it's either a mid Life Stealer or a mid Weaver, and I think we've seen mid Life Stealer in the past from Envy, so
Yes.
maybe that's more likely.
It could happen.
Yeah.
I think I still stand with my own wonder, so I think MP has got that.
The draft is definitely very like NP-ish. I don't think a lot of other teams would draft similarly,
Yeah.
but I do think that Newbee's going to fall fate to that Ursa kind of falling off in the mid to late game that we've seen so many times this tournament.
Okay. Well, time to head back to our commentary team now as we head into our what could be our final game of the group stages, but who knows
10
if we
seconds
end up with a
remaining.
Newbie win at the tiebreakers. Good luck both teams and enjoy with Lyrical
5
and
seconds
Capitalist.
remaining.
Thank you very much, Paul. In the panel, we would never be, throwing out a bunch of puns here, definitely.
No.
So as we get ready to go into this, they're going to have faith that the game doesn't go to caca for Newbie, and they might savage Team NP, and then they'd obviously be eternally envious if there was a problem there, and they might be saying owie as well. It'd be pretty rough for them, Team NP.
Peter's just holding his head right now. Peter, wait, I have one more. Don't go. You see, you have to have faith, right? Just like he said, in Newbee. You don't really seem to have that faith in Newbee's draft. But here's the thing, is that Newbee is an S-rated team. Not even rated A, right? They're rated S. So when you have this unique ability, when you're this high class, right, and you're rated S, see through your opponent's draft and find a way to victory. Peter.
All right, let's get ready to go into this. It's a real game. It's a real game. We're getting into it now. Potentially the final match of it, Newbee versus NP. Do you like the draft? I mean, we're having our fun. There's a lead.
I wasn't thinking about the draft, Lyrical. I was thinking about puns. Come on, why are you asking me about the draft now? You got to give me a few minutes.
Fair enough.
You really did take most of them, by the way.
I know, I'm
you
sorry.
warned me. I was like, I had this checkmark box, and I was like, damn it, Lyrical, you're taking all of them. But I told you weren't going to have that SC one.
That's true.
I do agree with Peter, though. I think that it is a very NP lineup, first of all. I like the twist where they picked up the Weaver and ran the Lifestealer as a mid lane. We'll have to see how Newbee address this, because they could just run the Ursa up against the Lifestealer in mid and then put the Ember Spirit in the safe lane or something like. There's some workarounds that Newbee can possibly claim, but I do feel like Newbee are very pressured to win the laning phase and transition
30
hard.
seconds to
Otherwise, NP is going to have this Weaver that comes online 15, 20 minutes and is going to be very impactful.
Absolutely. And, I feel like so many of these games through the group stages have come down to which team has the better initiation. And, that all does come as well from the vision game that you get. And the Beastmaster pick, MSS, they talked about in the draft. This guy plays this hero time and time again. I think it was their most picked hero going into the Kiev Major qualifiers.
The battle
And
begins.
I think that that's going to give them that edge that they need to get over that hump. So very excited to see how it goes as SC heading down to the bottom lane right now. Coming out of that safe lane.
This is going to be a very unique laning phase, that's for sure. Look at them. They are running the Ursa mid alongside Faith, which is immediately dodged, as they're going to have Eternal Envy safe lane. So Weaver, Lina, weird combination at mid. This is probably the most typical one. At bottom lane, they're just running an MSS off lane with SVG, which should be, I think, really good at contesting the Ember Spirit's farm. Ember Spirit does not really want a safe lane. He wants the solo experience, and he's easily contested by multiple heroes. We're going to see
there's
it
the
here.
roll in, going on to SC, trying to bring him low. The Light Strike Ray is going to connect. They still managed to find the stun on the land from the telekinesis, but SC under fire. They draw first blood. MSS, could it be anybody else?
Oh, really couldn't. Man, MSS, I'm so excited for his Beastmaster. They've already got him off to a good start. It's a great game for a high-level Beastmaster play, right? He's got some really good targets. If he can catch the Ember Spirit, that's fantastic. His Primal Roars have to really be on point when it comes to dealing with the Ursa. Early on, it's okay. You could just throw it whenever as the Ursa initiates, but later on, we may have an Aghanim Scepter on the Ursa, in which case MSS is going to have to play around that. So that being said, Newbee do have opportunities. U9, he is a pretty consistent player, and I think he deals well with pressure. It's going to be up to, so I'm kind of expecting him just to have a solid performance here. I think SC is the person who has to go ham in this. He's got to turn it up, and with his Ember Spirit, there's a lot of potential for big plays. If he can get the snowball rolling early, he can definitely kill these supports pretty early, may even be able to shut down a Weaver, or maybe catch the Beastmaster every now and again. But first, they have to make sure he has a good lane phase, and he's already been impressed once, and I'm sure that we're going to have SVG rolling into him in mid pretty soon.
Yeah, we'll have to keep our eyes on that. He is making that rotation already, and it's a lot of damage that can come out onto this SC Ember Spirit. He did just use Flame Guard, so it's going to be down for another 25 seconds. This would be the prime opportunity to go in for it. Does look like they're at least set up for it, but with the regen rune picked up. Yeah, they're also going to be bringing in Eternal Envy back towards mid now. Both of the safe laners, everybody's just walking around in this.
It's musical chairs, and that's what both these teams kind of need to do to get a laning phase advantage. The jump on SC, but it's not going to be good enough. They do have faith here to make sure he lives. So and you could see, like, NP very clearly know that if they can just shut down this Ember Spirit, I think it increases their chance to win by like 10, 20% even. Just because they need Ember Spirit to be a big playmaker for Newbee to take control of the game.
Well, and this sort of leaves us back to where we were before. You got Eternal Envy against the Ember Spirit. The top lane is feeling like Weaver should be pretty fine with what's going on. Ursa seems unlikely to be able to find a kill unless there's some massive outplays. But I think that, you know, through the laning phase, you've still been able to weather it somewhat as Newbee. You take a look at the CS across the board, and it's not absolutely terrible by any means. Yeah, I think that they're doing okay.
Biggest winner is obviously MSS. He's actually topping out the board at 16-8. Doesn't have anybody contesting him right now. There's not even a core at bottom lane. SC will finally be here, but first they're going to make the jump onto Kaka.
Yeah, going to be able to go for the stun. Catches him there. Telekinesis lift up for the stun. Faith is there to keep him alive, but the axes were going to be too much. We do see NP still manage to find another there. SVG drop in, but a little bit of a tough one already.
It's kind of interesting. He actually goes for the second level wild axes. Normally I see like 102, and you're leveling up the aura a little bit, and then you start maxing out the board from there.
But he has no board, no Hawk.
Yeah, I think that's pretty typical until level 4. Just because the level 1 board doesn't really feel that good. It's only until you get level 5, you get that level 3 board that's really strong. But he's going to be one level behind in this case. It's also because it's, I think, in a tri-lane scenario, the extra burst damage is better, and Wild Axes, well, it is physical damage, so it cuts through that Flame Guard.
Back in MSS, yet again, the stun going to be a little bit off the mark. Light Strike Array is going to create that separation that they need, so they will get out with MSS. But this has shown, again, the change up in the way that NP has been playing recently. There's been a lot of fire towards NP, I think, for not giving MSS the start that he needs, and this has been changing now more.
Yeah, they're going to be able to play off the Shrine. This is the big danger of getting into try versus try scenarios against an aggro tri-lane, is they have the Shrine to benefit off of. So if you get into that exact scenario where you don't actually get a kill, and normally that enemy team would just be forced to back up to the fountain, they could just play off of Shrine and get right back in your face. But they're not actually going to do that. They picked up the Shrine. I thought they were just going to go right back into Newbee with the Flame Guard on cooldown, but instead, it looks like they want to try and rotate into mid. Lina's going to take over that lane. They're not going to do the musical chairs anymore. They're just going to have Lifestealer. He has the levels necessary to be able to jungle. You have NB picking up his classic Iron Talon and Quelling Blade build. So he's abandoned laning phase entirely, and 1437 is going to take the solo experience in mid. Probably one of the best supports out there to do so.
And he rotated over for a second. There was a little bit of a reaction, it looked like, in mid when Ursa backed up a little bit. And so maybe signaling that there was a ward over there, and he ends up heading back into the lane now, while Beastmaster is also going to jungle. So NP just trying to get the most that they can out of this laning phase by using their heroes that are capable of jungling early on. Now, is there a point where Newbee come and try and contest this, or do you think that they have the heroes that just want to keep farming and pulling in the lane?
I mean, that's the thing, Lyrical, is how do you really contest it? You have to do it with your cores, because you don't actually have good ganking, rotating supports. You know, like Dazzle and Rubik are more defensive in nature. They're not like an Earth Spirit or something that is going to go into the jungle and really be a threatening presence. So that is a bit of the problem. I think NP are very happy with the support duo that Newbee has, because it just means that they, as long as they set up some sort of static laning phase that works for them, they could play super greedy, having 4 heroes farm and just kind of have this one roamer in SVG. While Newbee, they can't really match that. The most they can do is have their supports playing off of jungle pulls to try and match that efficiency, but they can't actually contest NP in what they're doing with their jungle right now. Or ganking Lina, right? Like, it's a solo underleveled Lina, but what are you going to do? Like, the most you could do is, like, Rubik wraps around behind and then telekinesis into the Ursa clap.
Yeah, normally wouldn't be that much of an issue because you could get a lift, but Lina's also, like the panel mentioned, pretty quick with the, early point up in her passive as well. So not an easy lane to gank, even though she is underleveled. And probably just waiting for that first rotation with the Beastmaster Roar, or possibly, you make an aggressive play now that you have level 6 up on SC. Remnants are available. Could make something happen here, but the counterplay, the roll comes in, the kickback onto SC. He uses one Remnant, not quite able to bring down MSS as of yet, and it does look like they'll be able to find the kill onto SVG nonetheless.
That kickback almost killed MSS. Oh man, SC barely survives. He doesn't have a Remnant up, right? Because he used all of them for the kill, so he's going to have to take the long walk back to the laning phase. You could see Kaka, he's trying to do, he's that extra support that can go into one of the abandoned lanes. KP is jungling, obviously, with his Magnus, so Kaka's trying to go in the off lane, but it's not going to be the same as Lina sitting mid against an Ursa. Kaka's going off lane against a Weaver, and every single time he shows up, AUI just chases him out of lane almost immediately.
Quite tough to deal with that Weaver until you get up to level 6, of course, for the Rubik. That's when things change. Steal Sakuchi. Find him, roll in onto KP right at the start. Nice skewer reaction, but it is, RP as well. He might be able to get out of this, and there's the lift up. The telekinesis going to be able to stop Owie from chasing, but Eternal Envy, he is hungry for blood, wants to take down KP, is going to chase him under tower, but Dazzle showed up, they healed him, they take down Envy. Oh no.
Okay, that was not the gank I thought it was, because I didn't realize SVG was not, well, he's level 3, so I guess he could go 1-1-1, but he doesn't have his level in silence, right? So that's the big thing. You have to stop RP. You can't just roll into that guy and expect to be able to burst him, and that 1-second stun you get from Boulder Smash, you need the silence to actually be able to execute that hero. So that's pretty unfortunate for NP.
Yeah, I mean, you lose your Eternal Envy Lifestealer. You find a kill at that point. Who was it that actually got the kill? I didn't quite see. Looks like it was
spread out.
Yeah, spread out to everybody.
Yeah.
Still, though, I think the tower did the most damage in that almost.
Yeah, probably.
Pretty intense.
So after that, it's like Newbee have climbed back into a small lead as the laning phase breaks down. The smokes onto each other here. 1437 is going to have his break.
Tess is there as well. So everybody holds hands for a second for NP. They're going to stick together. Are going to actually roll towards the Magnus. Not going to be able to catch him. And now they've got 1437 rooted. Dead again. Kaka picking up that kill.
I can't believe they went for that after their smoke popped on 1437. Like, that should have been a clear indicator that it's not a good idea to go into that fight, because you don't know what's there. Like, they try and make it go on Magnus, but they don't even know what's around the area. I think they should have scouted a little bit more with the Beastmaster if the smoke pops like that.
Cap, it's feeling like they're losing the momentum that they want to try and build with this lineup. Is it something, though, where NP are still somewhat comfortable with the way that the game is going? The fact that you do have, you know, at least the Beastmaster that's getting a good amount of farm and building towards that Necro?
There's plenty of game left still to play out. The Beastmaster gets a really big spike with his Necrobook 1, and then another big spike with Necrobook 3 and Blink Dagger. So Newbee, or excuse me, NP, they still have that really massive window to play around. AUI is still not ready to fight, nor is the Lifestealer. NP's beginning to work on that armlet, but obviously it's been delayed quite a bit. So they can still hit their timings, it's just going to be slightly delayed. So I don't think there's anything hugely impactful that's happened in this laning phase so far. I don't think either team was dependent on outright winning the laning phase and snowballing from there. If anything, I would say Newbee was the team who needed to get a little bit more done with their laning phase, just so they can have an opportunity for SC to make plays around the map. He's actually going to be going for an early Blade Mail pickup in December.
9 into the Vanguard after phase boots. Not often that we see that, but it allows him to jungle, I guess, a little bit more effectively. And now moving in towards Roche. I guess he can take it with this as well, probably?
Yeah, it's interesting. We saw this earlier. I'm not a big fan. I guess it does give you the tankiness to be able to take Roshan as opposed to the Morbic Mass.
They have the Hawk
the
here,
sustain.
though. They realize what's going on.
They can still play this though, because I don't think NP, their heroes aren't ready to fight. What we were talking about earlier, but oh no.
Jumping in on top of the Ursa right at the start. The stun is there as well. They've been able to catch the chains onto 2 of them. Roar is now dropped, but actually, that's the Rubik stealing Roar. They take down the Beastmaster.
Nice. Oh no, what?
They ended up killing off the Ursa.
He's
gonna
melee.
fall.
He killed the melee Necronomicon and killed himself.
Oh no. Oh no.
Ursa, please.
Well, okay. Newbee, they're not going to get Roshan right now, but NP hold. That was a great play for NP to go in there and, you know, send the Necros in, I guess.
I'm just a little bit flabbergasted. KP was hoping to be able to get a skewer on the Lina. Not quite. I want to like see the replay or something, because there had to have been like some scenario why it was necessary for him to do that, or maybe some surprise nuke that came out coupled with him killing the Necronomicon that kind of caught him by surprise. That was weird. I don't feel like Unai makes those kind of plays very often.
Yeah, definitely.
Kind of like you feel dumped on it by.
They're just going to come back in and contest again, so getting locked and loaded for a second go of this. The weave has been dropped, so everybody from Newbee will be much more tanky. They can still dive for this with the Sakuchi if they want to try and steal it. Eternal Envy going to go in. Have that RP to deal with them, though. They're going to walk forward. There's the lift up. They are going to be able to jive for this one. So SC finds the kill on SVG. They're good to go.
Yeah, as soon as they threw out the swarm, that is the big Roche contesting potential ability, is that if they get a really good swarm, they can catch Newbee out of position with the bugs on them. They could maybe fight around that, but I don't think NP, after the swarm was down, it was very clear that it was just an Ursa inside the pit, and he was able to deal with that bug. I don't think you should fight that as NP. Again, their heroes just aren't ready for it. It's not their timing yet. Lifestealer's more like post 15 minutes. Weaver's more like post 25 minutes. So Newbee are just trying to abuse that timing. They weren't really trying to mask Roshan too much. They didn't even lay down the counter ward early for the clock. Even as they got scouted, they just kept going.
All right, so let's check this out right here now. A good initiation comes in from SVG. They get the silence onto Ursa as well. The stun to follow. The chains to keep MSS and 1437 to the side. And yeah, like the Enrage has already been used at this point. He does manage to get off those Necro books.
SC played that fight really well. Yeah, he just...
I think that...
just killed it.
Maybe like the left A click the ground. That might have been what it was or something like that.
Maybe.
But anyways, nonetheless, Aegis still in the hands of Newbee now.
Yep.
What do you feel like they need to accomplish with this Aegis over the next couple of minutes? What's the game
You just
plan?
continue to bully NP, because again, they don't have that timing window fulfilled yet, so just abuse them for that. They are going to go into the top lane, see if they can catch the Weaver, a big time kill. It's like one of the heroes that you would absolutely every single time be willing to use RP on at this point, but they don't actually catch him. That is very unfortunate, though, because this rotation up to the enemy's safe lane is a very long one. It puts you very far away, so you're going to take this tower, but there's no easy, fast push into a second tower. So you're very far away. You're not going to be able to make much happen in this 1 minute period of time, and I think NP will actually get a positioning advantage here because of that. Obviously, it's just the risk of making a full rotation to try and catch a Weaver like that. Doesn't look like NP were actually able to get the pick off they're looking for in mid on Faith. They could have actually threatened 2 towers for 1 if that was successful smoke.
Yeah, and they're still pressuring down here in the bottom lane, but mid will not end up falling. Dazzle can just keep on spamming out the wave. And it looks like Newbee, in response to that failed movement towards the Weaver, are instead going to be able to take down the tier 2. So again, good movement from them to secure an objective after the fact. Now you also have the Ursa who's going to have the Blink Dagger. We might start to see some fireworks here, and I feel like Kaka's been able to get a good amount on his Rubik as well. He's building towards that Blink Dagger and about halfway there for the Rubik. It's a very mobile team, Newbee.
Yeah, Newbee just kept going towards that tier 2. That's okay for NP. They're happy with this. This is just more time for them to farm. They're also going to go for the tier 2. Very unlikely to take it, though. Newbee, there's no reason they should trade towers past that tier 1.
Of course, the classic, the Ember Spirit with Empower. It's a little bit, I feel a little bit bad because it's like harkening back to the physical damage days.
Yeah, because he is such a magic damage focus nowadays.
Oh, well, that was a kill down bottom for 1437. Does look like Owie is going to be able to quite take down SC. Faith TPing out, and no way out of that one.
All right, with this movement, I think NP actually just needs to... Well, I guess there's still that Aegis, and that early Vanguard from U9 does make it difficult for them to fight. I was going to say NP maybe smoke out and just push straight downwards. You know, maybe push out that wave just a little bit, but it's not the case. I thought maybe this would be a good opportunity for them to catch Newbee by surprise. They are going to go for this smoke. Maybe they think Newbee's going to be a bit broken apart now, and they'll try and go for some sort of pick in the jungle while Ursa's pushing out bottom.
I mean, yeah, they scan that Dire do that he's there. They also spot him under the tower, I'm sure. Then instead of going in for the Dazzle, well, they're still going to go for the Dazzle. Faith gets silenced, going to get stunned, and that should be the kill. Doesn't manage to get it off. RP onto 1 and immediately going to be roared up. They're going to bring down that mag. Kaka steals Roar again. Triple Remnant forward. MSS gone. As to is 1437. Kaka trying to make his escape, but isn't going to happen. So Newbee end up losing 3 there because of it.
Yeah, they traded the 2, and one of them was the Lina, who is just a support, so they only really got the Beastmaster out of that. Great rotation by NP. It does indeed catch Newbee by surprise. It catches them while they're split apart. They just left the Lifestealer at the top lane, and Lifestealer's the one hero that you expect is going to be a part of all these ganks.
Oh, they've caught the Ursa yet again. The Magnetized stun. That was a little bit awkward. He still gets the Enrage off, and now it's hard to chase this. Yeah, he gets the Blink. Good reaction from U9, but also a little bit of a rare misplay from SVG.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's a pretty solid Earth Spirit most of the time, but he also had that kind of awkward kick game 1, too.
I mean, that play right there is infinitely harder than the stone, so he's clearly really good. There must have been something weird going on with him there.
Yeah, one of the things is that in this fight, you could see the ward to left of the fountain. Or excuse me, the shrine. That was placed as they smoked through. They got aggressive vision down, and that's huge for that team fight because they saw the Magnus coming with that blink. They had their positioning, first of all, but MSS even queued up the Primal Roar on the Magnus before he blinked in. So right as he blinks, he's already going through the animation of Primal Roaring, and it results in just a one-man RP that accomplishes nothing and a very quick blow-up on KP. So they've now got the Necro Book 3, a huge peak for NP. They can get more and more aggressive now, especially since they don't have to worry about the Aegis. They believe this is one of their timings where they should start kind of controlling, not necessarily controlling, but they're more willing to fight Newbee, let's say, than even just 5 minutes ago.
Or even just making a good pass of the area and trying to take down the wards once you do pop those Necros for maybe a pick-off or something.
Yeah, maybe. I think it's... I don't think you want to purely use Necronomicon to scout for wards just because that cooldown, and it's pretty lengthy. And But obviously it wouldn't be a bad idea as this aggressive mid ward who's going to give a lot of information. Ultimately, NP, the onus is on Newbee to be the ones to be the aggressors because they do have this Ursa versus a Weaver. He's going to fall off significantly past 30 minutes, I would say.
Now they're on top of them. You do have Faith in the area as well as U9. Taka here with the Blink Dagger. Steals Sakuchi. Thought about the chase, but does not want to go for it.
NPR kind of showing a little bit more willingness to fight, as you could see there. I mean, it was simply just a tier 1 offlane tower, but they still kind of tried to contest it a bit while still continuing to farm on this Lifestealer. What did he just pick up? Is that a Deso for him? Yeah, he's got a Deso on the Lifestealer now. It's a big item pickup because if they can actually get the Earth Spirit to roll in onto the Ember Spirit, he's done so. If there's an infested Lifestealer inside of him, just like that one brief disable is all that it takes for Lifestealer. Probably like 4 or 5 shot.
And it is still, we've talked about the maximum amount of mobility on each of these teams. The Sakuchi is there for the Weaver as well as the Rubik at this point. Do you feel like one team is more well-suited towards like taking 5-on-5 engagement? Because they both feel like they have pick-off-oriented teams with, you know, the Ursa just jumping in and blowing up one, and likewise the Lifestealer combos that come out.
I would say Newbee's lineup is a little bit more oriented towards 5-man team fights, simply because they have the Magnus and they also have these early game brawlers like the Ursa.
Good reaction there. Roar as well as popping the Necros, and Kaka's going to die, and they get that ward, so super value.
Mega value. That's going to be his Blink Dagger picked up pretty soon. So, again, more opportunities for NP to go for some aggressive smoke opportunities. You never want to be too passive. You want to keep the enemy team on your toes. Even if you do have the better late game, you just every once in a while want to poke out. Just like NP did with their smoke into the Radiant jungle. That was super successful play by them. So, I think MSS finishes up the Blink Dagger. He's already got the smoke in the stash. And they can go for a play somewhere, especially
is he not going to get the ward? Oh, there it is. They got another ward with it. I was worried he wasn't going to. He wasn't hitting it for a second there, but now Roche coming up. You think that? I mean, you feel like you have to contest this, right?
You shouldn't give. Like the first one, I was kind of okay with them giving it to Ursa, but you should try and contest now, especially since you're a lot stronger comparatively than you were 2 minutes ago.
The combination of having those, you know, the Necro and the Roar down, as well as not being in position right there, means that Newbee's going to have to give it up, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's fine. No need to force it. Like if they were in a position to be able to defend, I would say defend. But you don't. The worst thing you want to do is like not be set up and then scramble into the pit, get caught by a big RP or something because you're not paying attention to your positioning. You're just trying to get there in time. It's just an Aegis that lasts 5 minutes away. NP can try and take some control again, but in the meantime, just play a little passive.
I like this build too by the Ursa. The Blink Dagger immediately into the Abyssal Blade after finishing off that Vanguard early.
It's got to do it. Got to get that lockdown against the Weaver. Weaver does not have Lincolns. He went for a bit of a, I would say, kind of greedy build. I like the idea of this Dragonlance into Maelstrom. It's very stat heavy and still gives you a lot of pushing power. He's got to very quickly be able to push out waves, and that is one of the ways you can stall Newbee's like control of the game, because again, Newbee don't have the tower hitters, so as long as you keep them always looking backwards, you know, if they go to high ground and there's a Weaver pushing out some other lane and he's also approaching a tier 3, then you're probably doing around the same damage, just because Newbee's heroes, like, it's just an Ursa who can right-click a tower, and he's not very good at that. Ember Spirit is never going to be right-clicking towers almost.
Well, and I like the response that you're also seeing now from Newbee Cap. You've got this Shadow Blade that gets picked up for him to try and move around the maps and try and catch these heroes. KP has it. Do you like that choice? Do you think that maybe something like a Force Staff to give better positioning would have been better?
I would say one thing is that you got to throw down sentries, I think, before you smoke. It's not just wards. You're much more likely to get scouted because there is a Beastmaster in the game. And they did indeed smoke underneath a Hawk, which means NP should not be caught, or at least not any serious hero will be caught by the smoke rotation.
Well, in the very least, Newbee are going to pressure this tower. We'll see if NP want to come to the test. Spirit did just TP back to the tier 3, so they are up on high ground. Meanwhile, bottom lane, it looks like they're setting up for a kill. 1437, newly minted Shadow Blade, and that should be a pretty quick and easy one. Throws out the Dragon Slave, Kaka.
That was pretty clever because they realized when they got to around the old secret shop area, they realized, okay, they definitely read our smoke, right? So they decided to show 2 cores in the mid lane, and naturally, because NPs scattered the smoke, they're like, oh, okay, they're kind of just like sitting behind those 2 pushing in mid, but rather Newbee were actually going into one of the side lanes, knowing that NP, thinking that there's 5 heroes mid, are going to look for an opportunity for an easy split push time. So they ended up catching Lina. But again, it's like NP are only going to throw some disposable heroes out there. And I think 1437, even though he does have more farms than most supports would, he is still a disposable hero. He's a throwaway. The cores are not.
They haven't thrown him away as of yet, so a good job from NP to keep that pressure on the correct heroes. Will Scepter lift up, Light Strike a little bit of the mark, and Roar now gets dropped onto the Dazzle. They are going to get the lift up now from the Rubik. Kaka is there as well. A fight going on the other side of the map as well. It looks like they are going to be able to escape from that Earth's Ember Spirit, but that's Aegis already popped, and Kaka also going to get ran down. Newbee losing heroes left, right, and center, and it looks like they're also going to end up losing U9 here. The Diffusal Blade coming into play for Aoi. Eternal Envy is chasing. SC did finally manage to take down him, but RB, no, he gets lifted up. Great Yule Scepter play there by 1437. KP wanted to save the day, but Save Your Buddy Syndrome is not working for him now. 4 dead. NP want to take that top 2 spot.
Disaster for Newbee. Like they should be like almost one of the strongest points in their game. Comparatively, this is one of the big points for them, and they just lost a pretty nasty team fight. Like, SC's doing what he can with these pickoffs and stuff in the enemy jungle. He just picked up Lina, but it doesn't offset the fact that NP just won a massive team fight before they really ever should have. And it means their cores are much farther ahead. They're going to come online to the like kind of late game status pretty soon.
A lift back. Ember. He's here as well, trying to bring down Aoi, the Blade Miller as well. The triple remnant, actually double. They can't quite get him. Force Staff, right clicks, the lift up, but he is still dead. Light Strike Ray is going to connect that time, but the Grave was always going to be there for SC.
All right, SC, time to put the team on your back. He's got to do some amazing things with Ember Spirit in this game. What Newbee should not do is slow down. Just because they lost that team fight, this is still their window to take it to NP. They still got to find a way to force fights. So I do like the fact that they are moving as 5 and pushing into the enemy jungle.
Well, I mean, you know, Newbee lost the fight, but SC won it. First he killed the Earth Spirit, then he killed the Lina, and then he went back and killed the Weaver. He is all over the place and making the plays for his team. But it does look like it's time to move down towards that bottom tier 2 tower, secure it for themselves. He's building back towards the Lincoln Sphere, it looked like as well. Aghanim Scepter for the Ursa soon to be online, and yeah, this is the timing. For NP, do you think that they have the items that they need to try and defend against this though when Weaver gets back up? He has gone for that very fighty build.
I don't think they should risk it. I think they want... He's got Scotty and Lincoln's queued up right now. I think they need that defensive item for him before they are actively looking for engagement. Again, Newbee are the strongest that they ever really will be in comparison to NP's lineup. This is one of their big peaks with the Ursa and the Ember Spirit with all its magic damage. So they should, I think, avoid fights for now. Again, if you see the opportunity for an aggressive smoke out, push out play or something like that, go for it. But for the most part, you're going to kind of try and lean away from Newbee. Newbee do have, they're prolonging the lifespan of their cores, you know, that relevance going into late game. A little bit more. Magnus with the Empower does give the Ursa a bit more light, I guess, after 35 minutes. Because he has this early Abyssal and he's going to be finished up the Aghanim Scepter. I think he still will be pretty relevant, actually, at 45-50 minutes. Earlier when I said, you know, he's going to fall off past 35, I think I misjudged. Just because I forgot about Magnus's impact.
Yeah, and he actually becomes that sort of team fight here. You can stack up damage quite quickly with him, the Empower, and then, you know, obviously one big RP. Does look like The vision is going to continue to be the battle that is fought as to see who's able to find it more effectively. A couple of Radiant Wards were there in the jungle. They also do have one that's going to scout the movement that's coming in from MSS right now. And it looks like it's about to expire. But SC, unless he's found him, Roar as well. Drops the Roar, pops before the Lincolns, but U9's there to clean up. They drop the, well, turnaround Roar. Kaka yelling in his ear. And now they're going to be able to finish off these Necrobooks as well.
I mean, I'll give props to him. That was pretty fast what he did. The pop in the Necro, and he just immediately used the range Necronomicon, the Archer, to be able to burn the Lincolns and then got the Roar off. But he still was definitely fully caught by SC. Again, he continues to be one keeping Newbee well in place. I think this game is still actually 50-50.
I mean, it's crazy, though, because he's that far ahead. 17,000 net worth on that Ember Spirit right now. But it's still just because of those other heroes and the way that the game goes, you could turn it around in a second. Gem there for the Ursa. Side Owie hanging out over here. Is he trying to get a little bit fancy? Trying to maybe pick off a couple of supports?
Yeah, he'll probably just cut a creep wave. I mean, if they continue to just show the Ember Spirit no their supports, maybe they'll try and pop out with Earth Spirit and Weaver and try and kill Ember. But we obviously know that would end up disastrously as all of Newbee are kind of circling around him. Another thing I misjudge is simply the fact that I didn't expect an Ember Spirit to be going more of a Sleight of Fist build.
Right.
That does give you a lot more power at 45, 55 minutes, whereas the other build, the Veil build on Ember Spirit, is much more focused on winning at 20 minutes.
Yeah, it is very interesting. Taking the Blade Mail, the Mjolnir, Lincoln Sphere as well. Do you think you double down upon this and go back for something like a Daedalus, or do you think it's not really worth it?
He's kind of queued up Octarine. I honestly don't know. Like, this is some sort of interesting hybrid build from SC, so I can't really speak to future item choices too much.
Yeah, the Octarine Core kind of fits the bill for both of them as well, because then you get more Sleight of Fists, and with the Empower, you're already dealing a good bit of damage too. But this is the smoke that NP think that they want to try and take, and they are running right into Magnus. KP Shadowbladed. They jump onto him right at the start of this. Is going to be able to find it. RP, but it wasn't quite there onto MSS. They pull him back in. Is all grouped up yet again. Roar dropped, and it does look like looking for a bit more. SC is going to turn now onto the Beastmaster, containing him, killing him, bringing him low. Eternal Envy doing his bestest in this fight, though. He takes down 4, maybe going to get 5. Oh, owie. Oh, lordy.
Yeah, great buyback from AEY. That was, he read that perfectly. He was like, oh, hey, I actually will destroy this fight if I just buy back and time lapse in. So great call by him. Recovers the team fight really well. I almost thought that Newbee was going to win it despite kind of, I'm not going to say whiffing the RP, but slightly mistiming it simply because MSS blinked right as he blinked in. It was one of those blink for blink scenarios where they just kind of passed over each other.
Right. God, that was one of those moments you haven't seen. Oh my God.
Look at fast AEY dies to SC. That's pretty crazy. Part of it was the Blade Mail bounce back, but he also got kind of lucky in his lightning procs and stuff. But
SC is a monster right now. 20,000. He was the one survivor in that fight.
He's soon going to have that like 45% cooldown reduction. Oh, they got the silence on him.
In some trouble.
Missed the kick though.
Faith is going to be the one that might get caught out here, but they do not want to test SC.
Yeah, look at how SC's daring.
Oh, they got him! They're on top of him! There's a great grave that comes out, though, at the last second from Faith. Still SC in some trouble, trying to escape from this, but the Magnetize will secure the kill. Weaver, they're going to buy back on Ember, want to get into this fight. U9 turns, they take down Owie, now looking to kill off Eternal Envy as well. There's the lift up with the Yule Scepter. U9 trying to bring him low. They are going to be able to start stacking up damage. The Lincoln Sphere doesn't end up mattering. For SC, they can still just run him down the whole time through.
SC, he's like, oh, that's a cute play, AEY. Yeah, go ahead and buy back here. Let me just bait you into the shrine area, and I'll make one of those plays too. SC baits him into the shrine area. Sure, they actually do manage to kill him, and that's big. But the result is he buys back, jumps right back in, kills AEY, and they'll take control of the Roshan pit. Aegis and Cheese or Newbee with all the tier 2s down. Is it time to start pressuring high ground? It may be one of those scenarios just like game 1 where I think you just have to control the game and wait for the misstep, the misplay by NP. Wait for a pickoff that allows you to go high ground. Don't actually 5-man in.
This grave. Check out the
Yeah,
timing.
sick.
Oh, wow. And you could see the Earth Spirit Boulder was coming in immediately afterwards, and it just hit him. But that's saving it, dealing out like one more salvo of damage before the TP came back in.
Dire's middle
Well, they
tower
still have another 30 seconds to work with while Weaver's dead. So they'll probably be able to get this melee racks. I'm just trying to judge how much
there's the
physical
collapse.
damage they really have. So maybe they won't even get melee.
I mean, still a tier 3 is great at this point, shutting down that map control in any ways they can, although they want to stick around for it.
This may result in them getting caught in a team fight immediately afterwards. You can see MSS positioning himself here. He hopes to be able to cut across and catch somebody, but it looks like they were just fast enough. We were only coming up just now. So if they do get that melee rack, they're going to start taking shrines as well. I think one of the great things is NP they still only have that buyback on Wheat. That's cool. So they didn't have to use any other buybacks. Yes, they lost the lane backs. It was terrible, but they're still playing for late game.
Yeah, totally.
One lane of racks is still recoverable. Newbee are still going to have a hard time, like we were talking about before, right? It's going to be hard just because they have Aegis and Cheese. They can't just 5-man high ground into a 5-man of NP, I don't think. So NP just have to be really cognizant that it's going to require some sort of pickoff to give Newbee the green light to go high ground again.
I like the pickup now as well. Kaka been able to farm himself up an Aghanim Scepter. There are so many great things to steal, and you think about Roar also. He's stolen with that Axe upgrade, pretty cool one. Anyone else? Luna Blade big, obviously. Weaver, time lapse. Oh baby.
Stealing that to get the what's it called? The
Consume?
yeah,
I don't know what it
like
is.
that.
Yeah.
That is actually one of my favorite Ags upgrades in the whole entire game. That and Walrus Kick. Time lapse would be massive, obviously. That is the big time ability. If he steals that and then is able to kind of sit in the background and save an ally, that could actually be what gives them 5v5 high ground potential. Because then they could just have an Ursa siege and have time lapse available for him.
Likewise, though, Aoi knows that this very well could happen, and it seems very unlikely to catch time lapse.
It's super unlikely that you actually catch that.
There's the RP pulling him back in. Remnant's a little bit off the mark, though. SC used that to try and get the extra damage. Now Eternal Envy able to get the Rage and TP away, so we'll make that escape. Unite not in range for the Abyssal Blade. So RP down.
Yep. Noob and MP. The push out, I think AUI is going to get a lot of farming time right now. He's not actually going to go for the Lincoln. Still has that queued up, but he's going for the... is it going to be the Scotty?
He has both of them queued up, so one or the other.
I'm trying to think, like, how important is the Lincolns to you? You have the Abyssal Blade, you have the Telekinesis, but even if you have the Lincolns, there's still chains and RP that you have to deal. So maybe it's better just to go the stat-focused Scotty build. I'm sure AEY is also keeping both options open.
If you get RP'd, it doesn't really matter if you have an extra bit of stats, I would imagine. Oh, lift up there on MSS, able to get caught by the silence. Chains not connecting onto anybody as of yet, and that is going to be SVG going down.
To pick off, maybe they'll try and poke it high ground here through the bottom lane, see if they can force the Earth Spirit to use it. At the very least, they want to at least poke at high ground to force AUI back into base.
He does finish off the Lincoln Sphere, it looks like, so pressuring this lane out now. Need to come and contest this. The SC does not have his Blade Mill currently on his backpack because of the Aegis. Kaka looking for 1437, found him there for a moment, but another ward's going to be dropped, so they'll catch Kaka if he does happen to go too far forward. Roar's there. They're on top of that Magnus. There's going to be a Laguna Bay thrown out as well. Able to steal Roar. That was going to be an Aghanim Scepter Roar, but everybody is dropping so quickly. The damage from SC is tremendous. Eternal Envy running out of there, but Aoi trying to turn on the damage. They already bought back on the Lina. That doesn't quite look like Unite is going to drop. Eats the cheese. Eternal Envy is still on top of him, and they don't have enough, but SC might be able to do the damage that they need him to. Eternal Envy still on him.
Out of mana.
Lift up onto Eternal Envy. SC still dropping, and they have enough damage here. SC is going to fall. That's just the Aegis.
He does have the remnants up, and he has the quick blink dagger. So they're going to try and Shukuchi on top of him to prevent the blink and just control him from there to not allow the remnants to come out.
Well, remnant forward. They're still chasing.
Though. That's not good.
Oh, Chains tried to turn to fight that, actually.
He killed the Lina. My God, that was astounding, the amount of damage he output in that team fight. Because what happened there is NP got like the kind of perfect initiation, right? They bought back, Newbee tried to retreat, but NP, they shut him down real quickly. They got the jump onto the Magnus and the Dazzle. That's the two heroes you have to shut down. So it was kind of perfect. Watch, they're going to get the Roar onto him, and then they hit the LSA on the Dazzle, blow him up, so there's no shallow grave save for this Magnus. That's perfect. And then all of a sudden, SC with every 3.5 seconds, he's throwing out a sleight of fist, and he got a massive Mjolnir proc on these heroes. And they all just kind of evaporated.
Yeah.
They were like, all of a sudden, everyone was down to like a quarter HP.
It was from U9 also had the Mjolnir static charge placed on him as well. So he was able to go through 2 cycles of damage with that cheese. Really, really good and well played there by SC. But in the end, NP are going to be the ones that hold high ground.
Yep, they hold high ground. They get a significant win out of killing SC 2 times in a row. He's still down for another 50 seconds, so this is a lot of ground that NP is going to cover in a short period of time. They do have the pushing, like a lot more pushing power because of Beastmaster, so they'll just tear through buildings in this point. Probably go through mid, take that tier 2, but I'm even wondering, like, are they going to have the time to push high ground and see if they can force the buyback? It's not going to come.
Right.
It's not going to happen.
Well, they do actually have a DD rune on Lifestealer. This might be the determining factor in some ways. The glyph was just used. I think that might spell enough to slow down NP, at least for the moment. But they're certainly back into this game now. It was at that point where we were sort of, almost in a way wrapping up, thinking this was going to come down. 2 Observer Wards placed there, but that's fine. But it was like Newbee were just going to clean up the game. But I really feel like NP fought their way back into it with that one. And being a lane of racks down isn't a death sentence in this game by any means.
Yeah, certainly not. Looking at the Ursa, he is trying to get one of his later game items, the Bloodthorn. So he's got the Orchid right now, still working on the Crystallis and the recipe. So that'll be a significant amount of damage upgrade for him, because then he'll have both the Abyssal and that Bloodthorn. So he can potentially jump AUI, and AUI won't be able to rely on just the Lincolns to protect him from that initiation. So that is a potential way to be able to counter him. SC... He's got the Octarine. I'm not sure what he builds after this, because he's kind of 6-slotted. He's got to start exchanging out items. Obviously, the Blade Mail is going to be the first one to go. Not sure what you pick up from here. Rapier. You got all those the lower procs. Is it a thing? No, I don't think it's like, I don't think you're in that situation.
Okay.
Yet. I think it's too risky. Maybe you just pick up a Daedalus or something like.
You can dare to dream.
If this game stretches out another 15 minutes, we may see a Newbee in a situation where they feel like Divine Rapier is warranted.
Okay. So definitely you can see there from those stats, top build for the entire team, 6,000 net worth ahead of the Weavers, the next highest. And it's all, again, based upon this Empower. Also, the Ursa, a hero that you wouldn't normally imagine be able to keep up and farm, is capable of doing it so much more so because of that Magnus. And it's why the hero has been warranted a first phase ban time and again.
I wonder how fast his Fire Remnant recharges. It says it's 35 seconds, and you've got like almost a 45% reduction. He just kind of always has remnants. Every 3.5 seconds, he's throwing out these sleight of fists. He always has Mjolnir charges to be able to, that static charge you were talking about, he can always throw that down. It's one of the ways he's been able to do a split push really well. He pushes out a wave, then throws static charge on a creep wave, and he bounces. Creep wave continues to push for him.
It's big smoke
Lots
movement.
too.
They weren't quite able to catch on to anybody. They're still keeping the Hawk there to scout out Roche for whenever it does happen to pop again, but it's about the longest timer you could ask for at this stage. And Lina's going to go back for the late game Bloodstone. What's that cooldown reduction? Or rather, respawn reduction.
Yeah, and it's also like there's a bit of heal involved and stuff like that. An interesting idea. Because the Aghanim Scepter isn't nearly as effective because of the fact that Ursa would be one of your targets, and he's just got mid-range, so it's not like pure damage helps you out against that damage reduction. The other one being the Ember Spear, but he's got Lincolns most of the time.
They're squaring off here. They know that Roche is going to be on the menu. Another Hawk is going to be summoned. Wants to make sure that he doesn't tip off that their other Hawk is in the area as well. But this is, I feel like, where Beastmaster really comes into play, is giving them that extra bit of vision. Although Radiant also have one ward up on the high ground there as well.
Even if you do... They don't have one right now. Newbee don't have a gem.
They lost it in that one fight.
Oh yeah, they did, huh? Yeah. Currently, MSS is holding Faith's gem. So even if you do have the gem, though, there's these Hawks that are just plaguing the whole entire map. You just cannot move around the map without being spotted.
Saw that quick stat there as well. Owie, 80-something% kill participation. He has been so involved in the key cog in the engine of NP making this work. Although that being said, he is not there with the team right now as Roshan starts to go down. MSS in the area, jumps forward, tried to go for the roar, but they were able to go for the Sleight of Fist away. Now you've got U9 holding onto the Aegis. Kaka gets great, staying alive through this one. MSS still dropping low there, and SC, they've been able to explode the Earth Spirit. He's already gone. That's going to be a dead MSS. Gem on the ground. Maybe going to look for more here as well. SC trying to chase down and kill off Owie. I think that U9 has the gem as well, but Owie thinking just a little bit too fast with that bonus movement speed for Sakuchi.
I don't know. NP choosing to take that fight.
NP. Shadowblade, they're there. Does he still have RP?
He still has Rage. There is RP ready to go, so they're going to use it now.
Yeah, force at least the RP out of him, but that is going to be now a kill onto
the
Eternal
infest.
End.
He's
good. Okay.
They can't really sit there and just guard that creep. I think it's going to waste too much time, so...
Radiant's bottom
they're still going to try.
tower
They're going
is
to see if
under
he's going to pop out here.
Radiant's
They're kind of staying out of vision.
Is that creep wave big enough to kill it? It looks like it is. There's so many of those range creeps. Yeah, he's going to die now.
Okay.
Although he does have rage again.
Yeah, they're dead.
Well, space created.
Yeah, I mean, you got this big bottom lane. Like, you're always like, okay, chip damage on tier 3. Can only do this for so long, though.
Yeah, needs to back out. Kaka's there. And that's the open wounds. Is just going to evaporate, though. 1437 turned him to butter.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit questionable, them trying to force that fight without the Weaver being there around that Roshan pit. I really don't think that Aegis is that big of a deal if you're playing off of high ground.
But look at these guys. Newbee are all over him yet again. They take down MSS, and that's the gem back now. But Owie is here as well. Throws out the Diffusal Blade onto the Magnus. Look like they're going to be able to try and bring down KP, and with that last little bit of damage from Sakuchi, they'll find the kill.
He's dead for 100 seconds. He had that buyback earlier, so can NP do something about this? When Lifestealer's up, there'll be about 40 seconds left on the Magnus. I don't think that's enough for them to be able to get across the map and get to high ground, so looks like, unfortunately, that timing won't be abused. This Boots of Travel, by the way, on Eversphere, it's like insane. They're trying to split push, and they just can't because SC is everywhere.
Yeah.
It's a what, 27? Yeah, 20-second cooldown on Boots of Travel. So, not to mention the remnants that he always has up.
Yeah, and the Mjolnir procs he can just throw on the creeps, as we've said before, means he doesn't have to even stay in lane. There it is right there. And is going to be able to keep the split push going even when he's not there.
I wonder if Envy's like, do I pick up like a Lincolns or something? Because if you get this Bloodthorn on SC, you do then have 2 different Bloodthorn heroes on the side of Newbee. Obviously, like, I don't think he actually goes for it. He's just going to have to play a lot more infested inside allies.
Right.
And just get the pop out, instantly rage. But he certainly can't like do any split pushing or anything like that, that's for sure.
Well, we also saw there the Lina talents did just get up to level 25 for herself as well. Yeah. So the Fiery Souls didn't end up going for the other ones, the damage nor the attack range, but still, Zimu moving quite quick and hitting fairly hard at this stage. Could start building into some damage. We're 48 minutes in, and it feels like the game is stalled to a knife's edge. They found Envy. The rest of them are here, though. MSS in the area. They're going to be able to control Kaka in their face. Aoi is there as well. They throw back the swarm against them on the low ground. It looks like they are able to take down and kill off Faith. Kaka dries as well. They're going to buy back, try and get into this one. MSS very low. They're able to roar and control SC for the moment. They get the stun. Is there silence to follow? They're going to lose SVG, and now U9 there on top of Eternal Envy, starting to bring them low. The RP, is it going to be enough? They do it. Triple kill for SC, trying to turn and kill off this Weaver as well. The lift comes in from Kaka, who bobbed back there again. All of them are dead. NP, and particularly, oh my god, Newbee just doing a great job of it. Holy crap.
And the funny part is this game is still not over yet because we have still buybacks on everybody from NP. In fact, you're probably going to be able to hold on to 2 of these buybacks as Beastmaster and Lina have such low death timers. So, Newbee, can they do it again, this time on NP's side of the map?
Oh, SC is there. He's got the silence off. Maybe going to end up losing 14-37. We'll be able to just barely walk away.
Newbee just, man, they're just playing so quick with this Ember Spirit. Like, they're just making fast initiations.
He's got the Orchid too now.
On the Envy. Nothing much is going to come of that. They forced the buybacks they needed to.
Bloodthorn, the last item for him. Do you like this choice?
Yeah, sure. It's kind of like the Daedalus, and that gives you quitting opportunity, and it's a good controlling feature against the Lifestealer, potentially Beastmaster as well as the Weaver. Like, all those cores are all susceptible to this disable.
Watching this again, they were able to catch Envy over here on the top. Kaka did die, obviously, but turnaround that came. It was looking so good for a second there, but SC just stayed out of the fight, kept spamming out abilities, and then eventually, obviously, with KP coming in, that RP.
Trying to chase down Lina.
Up, pull back in. They're there. Dual Scepter to try and create that space.
Oh, but a bigger kill. They're going to catch KP in the top river. That is much more important than the Lina.
Oh, and now SC. He's still onto another, though, and I'm not sure if it's going to end up being enough. KP still doesn't have buyback. But that's going to be Weaver dead for 2 minutes. There's no buyback there. 2 of them are caught in the chains. U9 on top of Envy, and they're more importantly on top of MSS. All of these heroes from NP are getting picked apart by SC, continuing to play a fabulous game. And Eternal Envy going to be one of the last on his teams to fall here, it looks like, as they have found the answer to the Lifestealer combination, the Weaver mobility. This could be it.
SC, you are a beautiful man and a fantastic player. Man, this Ember Spirit game has been such a treat to watch. He really did win Newbee this game, I think.
Such a great play. They're doing it. They knew it. I can't, and again, it comes back to that, like, those great couple of fights there. You had the RP that came out, containing them up, all of this. I mean, NP are staying in it. They believe that they can make it happen. They want that position 2 so badly.
And look at just like game 1, it was like they prolonged. You look at these heroes and you think, okay, they're going to drop off at this point traditionally, but Newbee with some item choices, both game 1 and game 2, prolonged the lifespan of these heroes and really don't ever pressure themselves to win at 25, 35 minutes. They're always down to go 45 minutes or later.
Now MSS, a valiant attempt. Lina was back, will kill off Kaka, but more importantly, Newbee are going to take that throne, I do believe. The final countdown, you can feel the need of it. There was anime in the air, but not enough.
No, not enough indeed. So Newbee get the 2-0 to make it into top 2.
What a display. What a run from them as well towards the end there. God, and it likewise.